Barakataya Hawa, Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim Mako Hakwadash. Giving all praise unto Yahweh Shim Shai, Bashim Mako Hakwadash. So, above everybody are coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh Bashim Shai, Bashim Mako Hakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and honors you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. It's going to be a relatively quick video right here, and we're going to be going into the topic of this football World Cup football trophy that they're going to be giving out in a couple of months. Oh, well, not a couple of months, but over the next 30 days or so, next couple of weeks, they're going to be playing for this trophy. And the topic, or a handful of the topics that we're going to be touching on, is in relation to the rainbow movement, the hypocrisy when it comes to slaved and forced labor, the hypocrisy of the Red Hebrew Edomite, and what else have we got here? So that's the two topics, because I had prepared this lesson a little while ago, and now I've got the opportunity to go into these scriptures and go into these articles and just touch on these topics through the spirit of the Lord. And what's happening, I mean, we got a handful of different things happening at the same time. But one thing that is clear is there is a hypocrisy in the Western part of the world, where with Esau, the Red Hebrew Edomite, is going to talk all kind of crazy about how bad everybody else is. We can start on that, the slavery topic, how bad everybody else is. And they built up their empire off of the back of enslaving people. They've got people out here in economic shackles. They got nations out here in economic shackles. When you see who owns these different corporations, including but not limited to the gas industry, the oil industry, the food industry, the banking industry, which the banking industry is the most important thing. What did this elite banker say? He said, I don't care about who runs the country. I don't care about who the face of the country is. As long as you let me control the money, then it's gonna be me that's in control. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but they're letting you know from that single statement that they don't give a damn about the face of the leader. They don't give a damn about who is at the forefront in terms of personnel, whose face is being seen. As long as they control the money, they was going to be all right, because they was ultimately going to control the people. And this is what they understand. And you got to understand, via economic shackles, although they're more difficult to trace, it's harder to trace the real reason why. And you got Jake out here talking about Africa. Yeah, okay, so why is Africa poor? Here it is, you got all of these natural mineral resources, and they show you on the map, they show you this little piece of land, and they call it Africa, and you really think that that's the size of the land. Not understanding that all the continents that was on the face of the planet, they could fit into that land, right? It's a beautiful land, but that's not our home, right? Israel's our home. The Gadarites have got our land. Thus saith the scriptures within the book of Ezekiel, the 36th chapter. Jeremiah, what's the precept in Jeremiah? I forget the exact, was it Jeremiah 30? It might be Jeremiah 30 that says the same thing about how a heathen, the greatest heathen that there is on the face of the planet, whom Job would have not set with the dogs of his flock. That's how dirty these dudes were and still are. They practice something known as bestiality. Okay? Practice all kind of craziness that they're trying to perpetuate. And that's one of the topics that we're going to have to go through. That's one of the topics I'm going to have to touch on, because you can see here within the screen that they're trying to push forth that Babylonian juice onto these heathen nations. And these heathen nations are like, yo, we've been all right. Our sons are heterosexual, right? They're gonna bring forth children. That's how we like it. That's how these nations are going on. But what does the scripture say? The scripture saith, Babylon has been a golden cup within the Lord's hand. Therefore the nations are mad. Therefore the nations are mad. And this is what you're seeing out here. This is what this whole controversy, and that might be the title of the video, the FIFA World Cup controversy. That might be the title of the video. The hypocrisy of the enslavement of people, which we've just briefly spoke about regarding the economic situations and the economic shackles that they put these different nations in. And also, too, how that Esau built his empire off of the back of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans being in hardcore slavery. Hardcore. With no rights. No so-called human rights. No saying as to what happens with you, with your son, your daughter, your wife. Here it is, we use this term mother effer, but this is what this dude forced our people into doing. He forced the strongest man to sleep with the most fertile woman, irregardless of parental relationship. That could have been your sister. That could have been your mother, your auntie. This dude did not care. Okay? And now he's got the nerve to come out here and speak about how, Qatar built their stadium up off of the back of people not earning that much. Bro, Jake wasn't earning a dollar during the transatlantic slave trade. We weren't earning anything. And what about now? Excuse me. And what about now? Jake is still in what's known as the systematic impoverishment of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans unto this day. You had the Jim Crow rules. You had the redlining. See, here it is, you start speaking about these particular things and you point the finger as to who is the perpetuator of this hurt that the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans have suffered. And this guy's saying, it's anti-Shem. This guy's saying, no, you can't speak about that. That ain't right to speak about that. But you say, hold on a minute. You wanna point the finger at everybody else as being the criminal. You wanna call these Qatarians, these heathen Qatarians, you wanna call them the bad guys. But hold on a minute. You're the worst thing going, man. You're the worst thing going. Let's start within the book of Hebrew. Let's start within the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, man. Right, since we was dealing with the economic shackles that these people have put upon the nations. Let's go into the book of Habakkuk. Right, it's going to be needful for me to go into the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, and then we can segue into the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter. This guy is a hypocrite, man. Everybody suffered underneath you. Everybody's got hurt off of the back of you. Everybody has suffered underneath the red Hebrew Edomite rulership. It's been a terrible rulership, man. And now you got the nerve to go out there and point the finger at these heathen nations, of which, they're probably going off and here and there. But, I ain't here to point out the Qatarians, where they've slipped up and messed up. I'm here to point out the points where Esau's being hypocritical. Okay? And most importantly, I'm here to speak about the book of Jeremiah, the 51st chapter being playing out. Okay, how Babylon has been the golden cup within the Lord's hand, and they're trying to push forth that rainbow agenda onto because that's the main controversy. That's really the main controversy. Yeah, you had the older migrant workers go up in there, earn a little 2 shillings to look after their families, right? Let's talk about that for a second, right? Because this thing all links back. And I'm saying a hell of a lot of things, but as the Spirit is revealing these particular things into my mind, I got to bring it out as it comes. But let's see. Let's just speak about these heathens, all right, or these impoverished people that went out there into the Qatar and made £100 for 3 months' work, right? Let's speak about those individuals. Well, why are they poor? Oh yeah, it's Esau. Okay, it's Esau. Why are they migrants in the first place? Oh yeah, Esau dislodged them. Esau's been the one that's gone up in there and ruined their country. Esau's the one that's gone up in there and had the worst distribution of wealth that's ever been seen within the entirety of any other rulership within the earth. Underneath all them heathen kings, you could have still had a peace, man. You could have still had your a little bit of grassland. Yeah, you might have had to pay, some crazy taxes or whatever, but man, these other heathens, when they ruled, at least they let you have your own women, man. At least you had your own children. It was only up until the time of the Greeks that you had a practice of dislodging families. The history books tell you that when the Greco-Roman Empire came into it, they differed from any other empire in terms of slavery because they started splitting up families, man. Underneath the Babylonians, for the most part, we were still a unit. How do you think we was able to keep our heritage? How do you think we was able to keep our laws, our customs? Yeah, we went off, but the prophets were still there, and we was able to keep some kind of semblance of identity. And that's how the Most High had mercy upon Jake, all right? And underneath Cyrus, which came after the Medo-Persian Empire, underneath Cyrus, we was able to go back because we still had that little bit of a unity. Underneath Esau, this is the guy that really pushed a whole agenda of splitting up families, man. And that's totally wicked. Now he wants to go further and really have you in a place and a situation where you own nothing and you're supposed to be happy about that. You're supposed to be ecstatic about that, right? Owning nothing, having nothing, you're supposed to be happy about it. Man, to hell with some damn Esau, man. Some hypocritical, funky Edomite. To hell with some Esau. Yea, transgressors by wine. This is an important precept for this particular lesson. We're going to see the article that, we're going to touch on it. I'm going to read everything, but it's just just articles to go into the precepts with. It's just a setup, right? Yea, because he transgresses by wine. He's a proud man. So this guy is proud, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires as hell. So here it is, they're talking about, you put these people into, what's known as a forced labor. You put these people into forced labor. You ain't paid them right. You ain't paid these people right. You put them into forced labor. But yo, bro, have you forgotten how you built up America? Have you forgotten how you built up Babylon, which is America, according to the scriptures? Brother, you had a whole nation in like hanging from trees if they wasn't obedient. And we're talking about people who are impoverished, who haven't got no money, no resources, and therefore are in these terrible working conditions because of the back of you. Because you can never be satisfied, Esau. You can never be satisfied. You gotta go out there into India and take all the gold up in there, all the spices, man. You gotta go up into Iraq and take all the opium off of it. You gotta go out there into Congo and take all the what do they take out? The cobalt from Congo, right? And the gold and the silver and the natural mineral resources. And at the same time, you gotta be the guy that's like, oh no, nobody can do that. The damn devil, man. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires as hell and cannot be satisfied. God can't be satisfied, man. You can't have enough. It's not enough that you got everything, like 99% of the world's resources underneath your control. You still want more. Yo, if I had these resources like Esau's got, man, I'll just chill, man. Like have, like Jake says, have a farm, have goats, have chickens. I'll just chill. Have a couple of wives. Just chill. This guy won't even let you have a couple of wives. Now, when you go into the psychology of that, that's because really having one woman is a low testosterone position. Okay? Having one woman, and I'm not saying you gotta go out there and have 2 free women. I'm just saying, if you go historically, right, having one woman in psychologically, biologically, having one woman is a low testosterone position. That's a high stress position. Because here it is now, like the way the Most High written the code is beautiful, because all the squabbles that you would have otherwise had with your woman, that's the squabbles that they will have amongst themselves to fight over you. And now your testosterone's going up. They're in their natural state because they're nagging, but they're nagging each other. They ain't nagging you. They ain't bringing problems to you. And now you got your pick amongst your group of women that the Most High is giving you. I hope I'm making sense. And that's how a lion rolls. That's how the deer rolls. Hell, even a mouse can probably get more ass than especially a heterosexual male out here, man. Right, a strong heterosexual male. I mean, you're gonna struggle out here within this society, man. They call it toxic masculinity right now. And going off of the back of that, they're trying to push this rainbow agenda out there into the Qatarians. We're gonna read about that in a second, and we can read the scripture dealing with that. So it says here, he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires as hell, and cannot be satisfied, but heapeth and gathereth and heapeth unto himself all people. Cannot be satisfied. This dude cannot be satisfied. Let's get another precept here, man. And we can go really, and this dude was like, yo, I mean, when you watch the video, he was going into all of this stuff, man. He was like, yo, like, have you forgotten what you've been doing for the last couple of hundred years? He used the words 3,000 years, right? He said, we've been told many lessons from some of the Europeans from Western world, he said, and I think for what we Europeans have been doing for the last 3,000 years, which really it's more like 1,000 years if you go according to the scriptures, the beast was going to rise up again after a period of a relative obscurity, and then they was going to reign for a period of 1,000 years. And this is after 1,000 years, Salakia, they was going to continue a short space. My apologies, Salakia. After it's more like 400 years, right? After the period of 1,000 years that's spoken about, when the beast was going to go into obscurity and it was going to rise up out of the proverbial depths of, let's call it hell.
because when you read the book of Isaiah, the 5th chapter, right, it explains that hell is nothing but a condition that's played out upon the face of the earth. Matter of fact, when you go into the book of Isaiah, the 5th chapter, it lets you know the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans was going to be in quote-unquote hell, which the book of Isaiah, the 5th chapter, describes hell as slavery.